About his relationship with teammates. ESPN reports LeBron called for a players-only meeting in February, and the King was actually called out by some of his teammates. They complained about LeBron's inconsistent body language throughout the year and added that LeBron admitted and said his behavior, like, quote, slumped shoulders and sideways glances, is something he has tried to work on his entire career. So we're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Steven Jackson. Steven, what do you make of this report?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
First, I want to say condolences to Nipsey Hussle and his family.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He was a big part of the culture, did a lot for his community, and I just want to send love to his family at this time.
God rest his soul.
LeBron James, I think people still picking, like, okay, we all know during the season he wasn't the defensive player that we know. A lot of times when teams lose, they magnify everything.
True.
And that's what they're doing now. It feels good to know that the young guys had the guts to call him out. I think that's the positive side of it. Guys did call him out, because a lot of times when you have the star player, guys that's not the star don't have the room to call players out. But I like the fact that the guys had the guts to do it. Now, did it help anything? Obviously it didn't. Did they do it at the right time? Obviously they didn't. But anything that's coming in about LeBron or about the Lakers right now, I think most of it's made up, because they've been waiting his whole career to find stuff to pick on and find stuff to point the finger at. I think that's all they're doing right now. None of it holds any weight. The season's already over for them. Let's focus on what they're going to do this summer. I think everybody's making stuff up now.
It's true. LeBron has always had the body language, because when you're a great player, it's hard for you to see anything but greatness. And so what you don't realize is that everybody can't be like you. You make it seem easy. I mean, you doing things like, oh man, it's so easy. And then the simplest of passes you make, and the guy lets it go out of bounds. You're like, dude, what are you doing? That's not. But, bro, they're not like you. They're not 400 LeBron Jameses. They're not 10 LeBron Jameses.
Right.
But great players have a hard time understanding that.
I agree.
And so when he does something, or he passes the ball and the guy misses a wide open shot, look, there we go again.
Tim Duncan didn't do that.
Yeah. Tim Duncan had no expression. Was he alive? I mean, he had no emotion, so I didn't know if he was upset. I didn't know if he was mad, he was happy, I didn't know what he was going on with him.
Always at even kill.
He was the same way. But it tells you something, because LeBron is used to, that's why he like veteran players, because he knows the expectation level. And these young guys now, they're more in the Fortnite and doing all this on the gram and doing all this other stuff. And LeBron James, yeah, I know, Skip, he got 100 irons in the fire. But guess what?
The Hollywood fire.
That biggest fire, that big bonfire, that 5 alarm, it burns on the basketball court. And he wants that. Now, you ain't followed the gram last night. He had a Coos over. Had a nice bottle. Chateau, Lafite Rothschild. Good stuff.
Never heard of it.
Shared it with his homeboy, shared it with his boys.
What you know about that 5 alarm?
DJ, now, does that strike you as someone that's standoffish, that doesn't want to be around his teammates? Had the man over to his crib, had a nice bottle of that good stuff. Lafite Rothschild, look it up.
Never
good stuff.
How you know about
too
that?
much of that stuff.
You know what, Skip? You feel what I'm saying? He does something a little good. He doing too much of that.
I do agree with you about great players. And if I may invoke the name of Michael Jeffrey Jordan, he had the same hard time, especially early in his career. Now, he wouldn't go sit at the end of the bench, but he would scowl and he would fret.
No, he just socked people in the eye, like he did Steve Kerr, like he did Reed. That's what I'm saying. He socked him in his eye.
Okay, but he'd scowl, like, what are you doing?
He would do that.
Yeah, he would do that.
Yes.
But he would also back it up when it was his time to back it up, because he didn't miss late game free throws and he didn't quit on defense.
Stop it, Skip.
Well, no, but that's the problem. That's what opens the door mid-year, because remember, you're talking about they had the guts to call out LeBron, but the kids, he tried to send them out to New Orleans. So this is right in the wake of that.
You got to get something, Skip.
Okay, I got you. But they're just sideways about this, you know? And so then they want LeBron to back it up and be great for them, as opposed to being all critical of them on the floor. And what gets me about this, they had lost at New Orleans, then they had a day off, so they have this reported team meeting. And I'm sure it happened, and I'm with you. I do like it that they stood up to him and said, well, come on, what about your body language?
Right.
At least you could stop that part. Did it work? How did they all respond the next night at Memphis? Not well. It didn't work on the court because they lost to a pretty below average Memphis team. I know they rise up at home occasionally and have a big game, but that was, and I don't want to beat the dead horse on this or pile on.
That's exactly what you want to do.
But that was the game in which I call for all that video where at Memphis he played no defense. It was like completely embarrassing. It was the most embarrassing defensive game of LeBron's career. He just quit on defense. He wouldn't go. Remember, he was just watching people run by him.
Yeah, his guy was making open threes. He looking around.
He's just looking around like, I'm not into this. And they lost another game. So whatever happened in that team meeting didn't exactly detonate them to greatness the next night at Memphis, right?
Let me tell you what this is really about. LeBron looked at the Lakers, and when you're playing from the outside, you might think something, and then you get there, and it's entirely different. LeBron overestimated how good these young players were. That's what happened because you remember, oh, he got next. Oh, this guy right here can do this. Oh, I love all that. Okay.
Well, for a while, I think they were all living up.
When you have
for the first, fourth, all the way up through Christmas.
Stacks, you know this. You might have a perception of a player because you see him once or twice a year. And then when you actually get an opportunity to play with the player, you see his practice habits, you see his study habits, and then you start to see, oh, I see why you haven't taken that next step. Now, I'm not saying this is like that, but something is going, there's something that has happened or that hasn't happened. They should, well, how good should they be? When we look at it, LeBron, you say LeBron is not the same guy. 27, 8, and 8 doesn't have the same meaning in the Western Conference as it does the Eastern Conference. But I just need to know, when are these guys going to take the next step? When is Ingram, when is Lonzo, when is Kuzma going to take the next step?
Okay, but speaking of 7s and 8s, all I care about is LeBron James in the games he played in is 28 and 27 this year. 28 and 27. So he's one game over 500. Is that about overestimating the kids, or is that about him in year 16 just not being quite as good as he used to be?
It's about him being in the Western Conference.
Yeah.
He wasn't expecting that.
All right.
Okay.
Hold on. Yeah, I mean, let that sink in. Let that sink in for a second. You heard what Skip said? Skip said he's not as good as he once was. He's third in assists, he's fifth in score, and he's not in year 16, and he's not the player that he once was.
Yeah, the only difference to me is the conference. He realizing that the
28 and 27 says he's not having the impact that he had in the East.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Flip it. Put Kevin Durant on the Lakers, put LeBron up in Golden State. A Golden State record worse or better with LeBron? Is the Lakers record with KD minus LeBron better or worse?
Golden State's record would be worse with LeBron.
Steph Curry would have 500 threes and Clay would have 400.
Who do they lean on when they get in trouble?
They would never get in trouble.
35.
I was a good, you know what I'm saying? I ain't never get in trouble. Yeah. My brother got in trouble. I kept him in trouble with my grandma.
They have the best clothes in the game. KD is the best clothes in the game right now.
Hold on. Didn't KD miss that free throw?
Do you think if KD had started with the Lakers this year, this team misses the playoffs? I know there are injuries, so it's hard to factor all of it in, but come on.
If LeBron would have started with Golden State, you think they wouldn't have 60 wins by now? I mean, come on now.
There could be some drama king going on.
See, there you go. See what he did again? Even when things going good, 60 wins.
I don't do it. He does it.
No, he ain't do nothing. Yeah. Not the man on the shelf. The man on the shelf. You got what you wish, Skip Bayless.
I didn't wish for him. The last thing I wanted him to be was on the shelf.
No.
Yeah, you didn't want
He's
him.
not, like you said, out of sight, out of mind. He ain't going to bother nobody until, we're going to take these next couple of weeks off, going to get ready to shoot a movie. But come fall, that energy come fall. I want you to have that energy.
I wish you'd get ready to shoot some free throws.
You go.
Yeah, that too.
Come on.
That too.
I want that energy that you got right now and how everybody's, look at LeBron. Okay. Oh, LeBron down. For the first time in 13 years.
I said that weeks ago.
8 straight trips to the finals. Normally he plays until June 8th. This year,
winning the Eastern Conference. All 8.
You never said it. You never said anything. Hold on. How did Jordan win his finals? What conference was he in?
Okay, but they were flipped. The world was flipped on its head. The East was stronger than the West.
Okay, how about this here? What about when Magic went to 9 finals in 12 years? How was the West then with Seattle? Were they strong? What about the Dallas Mavericks? Were they good? What about Sacramento? Was they good? I just need to know all these good teams in the West. When Magic Johnson went to 9 and 12 years, can somebody answer me? I just need an answer to that. Nobody said the West was weak then.
The only problem Magic had was Larry Bird in the finals.
But that was in the East.
Yeah.
That was in the East. But, okay.
The West was ever weak. The West was never weak.
Hold on. Did you see Magic? Well, how you go to 9 finals in 12 years with a strong conference?
You're just good.
Oh, but LeBron bad. You see what I'm just saying?
Eastern Conference is different, Shannon. You know that.
It was different now than then, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you see what you did?
Yeah, the Western Conference was always good. The Eastern Conference was not the good when LeBron last 8 years.
So Supersonics was good at one point in time.
They had a
in
Hall of
the 70s.
Famers.
In the 70s.
They had Hall of Famers.
Who?
Gary Payton.
You name one guy. But Gary Payton.
One of the best shooters of all the time. Ellis, one of the best shooters. You have one of the best defenses. He's a coach now for the Pacers.
Nate McMillan.
One of the best defenders in the game. He had some players on that team now.
Hey, they had Detlef.
Just give me a little time. I'll run it down to
I
you.
just had to say that. I love Detlef.
Are you willing to sit there and say that the Western Conference with Seattle, with Dallas Mavericks,
Mutombo and Denver?
No, that was in the 90s. I was in Denver when Mutombo got there.
Yeah.
In the 80s, the West was not good. They had two teams.
Portland wasn't good?
Stop it.
Portland wasn't good?
Stop it. One Hall of Famer, Clyde Drexler. One.
Okay, so what? So what's your point?
My point is, I want you to have that same energy when you talk about the West and Magic that you have with LeBron in the East.
So Magic rolled through the West the way LeBron used to roll through the East.
Okay,
I'll give you that.
Okay, that's all I need. That's all I want to get that on record.
You took you a while to get there.
Into Bird in the finals.
Jeez.
Oh, and guess what? And LeBron kept running in the Golden State in the finals. Because you remember what he did to Kevin Durant when he was in OKC? Cracked his head to the white meat and made him go to Golden State. And cracked Draymond's head, too, made Draymond
He
cry.
didn't make him go to Golden State.
Made him go. He couldn't do it.
Went like 5 years later.
Because you know what? And guess what happened? LeBron owned him 17-5 before he went to Golden State. That's what their record was head-to-head. In Cleveland and Miami, when he played Kevin Durant, 17-5.
Okay.
So don't pretend like you're not. Now he gonna link up with three more. I mean, the greatest shooter of all time, a top 5 shooter in all time, and now everybody thumping and putting their chests out.
Okay, we're going to move on from your guy to your guy, Steven. Always good to have you with us. Should the Cowboys be underdogs in the NFC East? We'll
Steven's
discuss that with Greg Jennings next.
Oh, my goodness.
Today's Best Western? What is that?